Hey, good Sunday afternoon and happy Easter to you and your family. We had some rain to kick off Easter weekend back on late Friday night, early Saturday morning, continuing into Saturday afternoon. We needed the rain, but we actually probably needed a little more than what we picked up. The heaviest rain occurring west of I-57 across southwest Illinois. Here were some of the observed rainfall totals from Saturday morning through Saturday afternoon. Some areas picking up a little more than an inch from Murfreesboro to Carbondale, Chester coming in there as well, and then Vienna just a little over an inch. Now further to the east, rainfall amounts were a little lower. Many areas picking up less than an inch of rain from Marion southward to Olin, and especially eastward over towards Harrisburg and Shawneetown. So we needed the wet weather, but unfortunately just not a lot of it. We're kind of hoping we'd get maybe a little more than that, but we'll continue to keep an eye on some of those rain chances in the forecast. That rain was courtesy of a cold front now making its way off the east coast. A lot of wet weather Sunday stretching through the eastern seaboard. That big blue H, though, out across the plains, that's high pressure building into the central U.S., and it's going to be the dominant feature here as we at least start the upcoming week. Right now, we're on the eastern side of the high. Remember, the air circulates in a clockwise fashion around the high, so we are seeing those northwest winds around and keeping temperatures relatively cool. Now, once we get on the other side of the high, we will quickly bounce back towards the middle of the week and temperatures climbing as a result of that very quickly as well. But here is the result 24-hour temperature change, anywhere from 20 to, in some spots, into parts of the Great Lakes, actually about 30 degrees cooler than they were at this time yesterday. Notice, though, out to the west, those are warmer temperatures than what it was yesterday. So they dealt with the cool down out west yesterday and now already starting to bounce back. We are quickly going to start seeing that warm up show back up into our forecast again as we get into the middle of this week. But we're going to have some cooler mornings for the next few days. Temperatures Monday morning dipping back in the upper 30s in a few spots across southern Illinois, expecting temperatures, especially in the Wabash River Valley, could see some 38s and 39s. Right now, not too concerned with frost in southern Illinois. I think temperatures are going to be warm enough to kind of alleviate those concerns. However, I can't entirely rule it out. Maybe in a low-lying area, but I think it's going to be extremely isolated. Further to the west, temperatures maybe a degree or so warmer up into the lower 40s, Carbondale to Sparta over towards, say, the Perryville, Missouri area. So, again, there is some cool mornings out there, at least for the next couple of days. Now, Monday afternoon, pretty nice. We'll bounce back in the mid-60s. A few more clouds in here Tuesday and Wednesday. And look at Wednesday afternoon. We start seeing temperatures climb back into the low 70s very quickly. And then that continues to warm back up towards the end of this week. In fact, by, say, the next weekend, we're expecting temperatures to climb back close to 80 degrees. Now, there's not a lot of rain in the forecast, but the next chance for at least a few showers and storms shows up on Friday and then potentially into Saturday. So that is something to keep in mind, and we'll track that here real quickly. Again, not a big rainmaker. Cold front kind of moves in from the north, bounces into our area Friday afternoon, Friday evening. Fires off a few scattered showers and thunderstorms, and then quickly retreats back to the north on Saturday. So just not a lot of wet weather right now showing up in our forecast, at least not here for the next, say, 7 to 10 days. We appreciate you joining us each week for these weekly weather videos. These are brought to you by Clark Mix On-Site Concrete, located on the east side of Marion. It is spring. Maybe you've got a spring project, you need some concrete work done, give these guys a call. Again, they're very professional. They mix there on site, so it will save you time. It'll save you money. You can also find them at clarkcrete.com. So we appreciate them, of course, sponsoring these videos. Rainfall amounts for the next 8 days. Went ahead and showed you this. This goes through next weekend and even into the following Monday. Rainfall probability of a half an inch is very low, less than 20% right now across most of our area. And then when you increase that to the probability of seeing at least an inch over the next 8 days, well, it's pretty much slim pickings. It's down to about 0 to 10%. So not anticipating a lot of wet weather here, at least for the next, again, 6 to 10 days here in our region. Temperature outlook, though, continues to push warmer than average conditions back into our region. We are anticipating very warm weather. That means lots of days in the 70s and 80s. So get through the next couple of days. Once we bounce back in the 70s, it looks like we are going to stay there at least through the middle of the month. And the pattern becomes a little more active towards the middle of the month, but a lot right now is focused out across the plains. That's really where we're highlighting wetter than average conditions potentially as we head into the middle of this month. We're going to cross our fingers. Maybe we get in on a little bit of that. But again, rain chances overall still appear to be fairly low. So let's track everything here through the rest of this, at least for the next, we'll say 2 weeks. That little trough out across the Great Lakes, that's what moves through here and brought the cool down. Drops all the way back into the northeast. That's the one bringing the cool down right now. Look what happens, though, as we head into the second half of this week. Another trough kind of dives into the Great Lakes, but it doesn't make it as far south. So that means we're really going to see warming temperatures continue. And then this big area of high pressure, upper level high builds across the Great Lakes. And again, that is going to likely lead to some very warm weather here in our region. We will have to keep an eye on this trough coming into the Pacific, back down into Southern California and the Baja Peninsula of Mexico as that starts to eject. That should indicate a slightly wetter pattern. Notice more of the southwest flow there. But that trough never really makes it too far to the east. The ridge kind of continues to hold on as we head into even the middle of the month. So again, lots of warm weather showing up, at least in the extended period of time. So we'll continue to track all of this. Of course, you can always find me right there on meteorologist Nick Hausen on Facebook. Those videos are also on YouTube. Enjoy the week. Enjoy the spring-like weather. We've got it around, at least here, as we head into the upcoming week.